Hey everybody, this is Peter Palmiotti of Humanoid Studio. Hey, like this video. Okay, before I get into working on this page, let's see if I can do this without a problem. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Do, do, do. Okay. Cool. I think this may work. Work with me. All right. Yep, here we go. Okay, so this is something I wanted to do yesterday. So I posted this on the 20th, so like 5 days ago, and didn't know what to expect. Sometimes you post things and nobody sees it or nobody catches it, and you get no response. But I got a lot of responses, as you can tell. 43 thereabouts. So I thought it would be fun to visit this and go through them. How well do you know me? Pick 3 words to describe me. Yeah, this is a bit tempting. But the first one is my freaking oldest friend, a former boss, Mr. Timothy Bass. Talented, dedicated, imaginative. And I won't do everyone. Bashful, resilient, nice. Um, some people made some stuff up. Retro Palmiotti Peter. Yeah, that's pretty. Macho Pete. Man. Okay, so the creation of retro was actually with an old friend, where we went hanging in the woods and came up with superheroes. That was with Stephen Scott, my old friend. So he's being funny, creative, kind, cool. Okay, that makes no sense. Kind, creative thinker, creative, funny, genuine. Who are you? Enrique, I'll be interviewed by him on his Instagram channel, December. I gotta check the date. I'm gonna post that. Talented, friendly, determined, underrated inker friend. Friendly, private, caring, industrious, positive, talented, creative, disciplined. Cats, of course. Yeah, another one stating my name. Thanks, Phil. Caring, drawing, friendly. Uh, Will Callaghan, he's cool. Cats. Um, why the little delay for today's episode is I'm always taking a chance if I schedule something in advance. How to put my cats up. Artist, creative, inker, cats, comics, and coffee. Yeah, I was using that for my social in a different order as my description. Comics, coffee, and cats. So that's pretty funny. And Earth Demon. There you go. Friend, Jimmy's brother. Retro comic, cats comics. Cats, talented, persistent, supportive, legend backer. There you go. Darren Close, Killaroo, if you didn't know, just did a Kickstarter on just did a Kickstarter for his creation. He's pretty awesome. Aquaman, Kitty's shitty internet connection. So true. Thank you, Gibran. Genius, Inkslinger, Nexus of Culture. I like that. Thanks, Abe. Kitty Pride, Kurt Wagner, nice guy. At all, great artist. I don't totally get the X-Men reference, but I inked some X-Men. Tracer. Hey, I'm not a tracer. Your mom's a tracer. Inker, Hook, Aquaman, Hustler. So true. Intelligent, encouraging, genuine, articulate, creative, passionate. Awesome. And Frank goes, are these descriptors for your eHarmony profile? Some of them are. No, I don't have an eHarmony. So let me stop that and get out of that. But yeah, I thought that was a bit fun. And yeah, luckily they were all positive and but you post something like that, you ask people their opinions of you or to describe you. Really, you're really asking for it. So I was happy with the results. So how is everybody today? Who got your pencils and brushes and all that ready to work on your comic as I work as I work? I hope so. So this is the fabulous episode 69, and I thought it'd be a little sexist or something, and go with today's title: Girls Read Comics Too. I know. Well, I remember back when I started first reading comics. It was a boys' club, more of a boys' club, and I wasn't aware of early on. I wasn't aware of a lot of girls or women that were reading comics. Not to say that none were, but thankfully, things have changed over the centuries since then. And it's opened up vastly, and it's great to see. I need a little more light in here. It's great to see that both sexes are enjoying comics and comics culture, and that the fact that there's stories for everyone. And throughout the years, I would meet girls that read comics. I'll say off the top that as far as like my exes, because I was in and out of comics, reading them as any sort of hobby or habit. But I never had a girlfriend personally myself that was 100% into them, and part of me is a little sad. My last my last true girlfriend, who I was engaged to for 5 years, Lisa. She didn't read them, but I did get her into the world of, you know, what characters were out there, and she wasn't totally unaware, but definitely informed her a lot more of all the characters, and we started watching the films together, and she slowly became more and more aware of who the characters were and what universes were different, and we'd go watch a lot of the films together. I think one of the earliest, I don't know, was it Batman? I forget now. There was something out. Like our first film together was our first date together was an alien movie, and she being of like major horror fan, it was definitely a thrill for her and thrill for me because I love the Alien franchise. Oh, side note, I heard they're doing another new Predator movie. Um, and I freaking love it. Dan Trachtenberg, my old buddy, well, indirectly, from the Totally Rad Show, one of the three, Alex, and I see the other guy in my head. I forget his name at the moment. Um, it's an old show. They talked about movies and comics and other things, all geek stuff. Um, and he's going to be directing it, and freaking love Dan and his work. He did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which if you haven't seen that, you should definitely go check it out. And I'm excited for him to tackle Predator. It's about time somebody does it and does it right. Um, why am I friends? Well, not really. We all have moments in life where it's like sort of a missed opportunity. And at some point, I was going to do a comic called Triple Treat, which one of the characters was going to be my character Bright Eyes. Another was going to be my friend um, Scotty Watson's Talon, and I had one more other female character, and I developed this sort of whole plot, where this three-headed creature villain would show up at some point and have the heads, three heads of the Totally Rad Show guys, and it was a zombie kind of story too. It was more elaborate. I'm forgetting most of the plot, but I emailed them and they were totally into it, and they, like, 4 or 6 months later, they showed up at San Diego Comic-Con. And I was supposed to be doing a promotional poster for the project. Unfortunately, overall the project didn't happen. I got a lot of approval from creators to have their characters in it. But I forget why. I just wasn't able to pull it all together. And so I never did a promotional poster. And on one of their episodes, when they showed up at San Diego, they said, "Well, behind us, we were supposed to have a poster with our faces on it, and that's why there's nothing behind us." And man, talk about a gut punch in one's career. Um, but they just didn't have it. Didn't have it. Um, so that didn't work out. But anyway, I followed their careers. They're friends with Kevin Rose, another popular name. Alex, I'm forgetting his last name was a little difficult, and the other guy. They're all still busy. They're all just doing other stuff. I think it was tied in with G4 and what their internet channel was at the time. But it was a great show. And yeah, that was sort of my answer to. There was War of the Independence by my old friend Dave Ryan, and originally I was tied to that, and he decided in the end that he was going to ink it himself because he was the writer creator. But it's like I got so many people into participating their characters for that project. Like Bright Eyes was supposed to be in that project, and she was on the original cover. Um, but it just didn't work out, and Triple Treat was going to be my sort of story that tied into that whole thing. But in the end, it didn't happen, and it was like, that's Dave Ryan stuff, and good for him for getting it off the ground and having like 1,000 independent comic creators creations in it and all that jazz. So it goes. Um, so before I get back into my subject of today, um, there is something happening later today. I have a talk with somebody and going to see about um, something that may just very well change my career in a big way. I've been pushing myself and things because it's been such a crappy year, and I haven't been making great money. Like many, I've just been surviving. Um, I sort of been pushing things and selling artwork and getting this, work come up to keep my head above water, and um, a lot of that might change. A lot of that, I'll talk about it more tomorrow, or when I'm able to. But I may be in a much better position. Here it comes. You probably don't hear it, but the rain, the rain, the rain. Today it's supposed to rain all day, and I want to hit the post office. I actually wanted to get some exercise today. It's been a little while. Um, what I could always stick the artwork in my portfolio. Let's see. I'll see if it's in good shape, because I don't mind. I don't mind getting wet. I'm not totally. But yeah, it's like, you know, sort of goes along the lines of yesterday's episode. If you haven't watched that, please do. Please watch all my previous episodes. Don't just watch the new ones as they pop up. And give them a like too. I'm trying to grow my channel. If you didn't already know, to beyond, I should say beyond 1,000, not just my goal, because I don't want to get to 1,000 and celebrate, and the very next day it would be 999 subscribers, and what the hell? Because I want to be part of the YouTube partnership program again, which is only like the beginning of where I want to get my channel. But yeah, really been pushing things. I need to get better, in a better place with my career. And this just may be the ticket to that. And you'll see why. You'll see why. Um, I've heard others that done it, and yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what yet, but I know it's helped many others propel them forward in their careers, and it could happen very, very fast. We'll see. Uh, but yeah, along the lines of today's subject, um, girls read comics. Yeah, women too. Um, I've known plenty. Obviously, going to a lot of conventions and having a lot of gifted, talented friends, artists, writers, and whatnot. I've met many, many throughout my career at this point. And, you know, also I was thinking, like, if there's any demographic that needs to be more prominent on my channel, it's that the fact that I don't have a lot of women at the moment. Um, I haven't looked at the analytics of my channel in a little bit, but I don't have enough women watching my channel or showing up in the chat or leaving comments afterwards or anything like that. Because I'm not, it's like I'm pretty standard creator. Um, and there isn't that appeal specifically outside my gender. There's definitely a lot of people that show up that are younger than me, which has been the case throughout my life. I've always been hanging out with a younger generation of people, it seemed. Um, by coincidence, or you know now specifically because I'm in the comic industry, and there's a lot of up and coming creators. But I really haven't done any specific material that's garnered a lot of female readers. You know, um, let's just see. Like, I'm sure there was a lot of females reading, women reading Aquaman back in the day. My highest profile project that I was on, more than an issue here or there. But like a book like Razor back in the day, it was sort of a bad girl book. Um, you know, I do know a lot of women that I guess I would definitely categorize that to a certain degree as a horror book. Not necessarily female empowerment, although it can be perceived as such. She wasn't taking shit, and she was definitely taking names. Um, it wasn't necessarily positive, but she was killing people left and right, and it happens sometimes. Um, but what else? Oh, it's funny. I just noticed there's a new She campaign, which my old friend Billy Tucci has a new She series. I looked at it. It's on Indiegogo. If you're into She, I definitely loved the character and loved a lot of the past books. And I contributed to his Kickstarter for uh, a sort of sneak peek of Way of the Warrior, which is maybe a year ago, maybe a little longer. But I looked at the new campaign, and it's nice artwork, but and I don't blame him, but he's not doing the artwork to it. That's number one. So I'm not as enthused about it. I liked it more when it was just him doing it. But apparently, there's a lot of She fans that don't care, and that's great to see. Like, when I'm on issue uh, 60 or 90 of Retro, I like to think that the character is more important than me actually doing the artwork on the book. So that at some point, I can at least retire partially and just continue writing it and have another art team. It's good to know these things in advance that people won't take total offense. So I'm very, very happy for him that his creation is doing so well. Um, I wasn't into getting a copy of that since he wasn't doing it. But what was the point I wanted to make? Oh, it's not freaking inked. At least it, for my glimpse of it, I wasn't looking too close. Once I saw he wasn't doing any art. Um, but it was to me, it's an issue. If you have the money and you're doing beautiful comic art, which it definitely looked like it was, freaking get an anchor. Don't get on my nerves. Get an anchor. Don't just color pencils. It never looks as good. I have real issue with that, and it's not just because I'm an inker. It just never looks as good. Tell me otherwise. Comment below the video. Tell me your thoughts. So that reminds me of something else I wanted to mention again. I have a link tree, and you'll see a lot of links below the video. And I wanted to set up my link tree. It's where it has some of my basic links. but I'm also at the same time promoting a lot of my friends' works. And let's see if I could do this off the top of my head. So I have Russ Leach's link to Only Death Will Save Us. You can get his book in demand at this point on Indiegogo. I have Ryan Wynn's Hammerella, Thunder Smoke, and his campaign is still going, I believe. So you can go check out his book and pledge to that. Our Randy Siplon, Kill Riva, can only be it can only be said like that. You can go pledge to his project. Yeah, the rain's coming down here. I'm wearing headphones, so you may not hear it. And I added a few. Joshua Campbell has been busting his ass working on his autobiographical project for the past years, and this isn't that, because that would be coming out through Marcosia. But this is a project of his called Two Stories, of which I believe the first part's done, and it's an Amazon link. You can get the first part until he finishes the second part. Then he'll be able to maybe kickstart both of them together. He was on Jeff Lafferty's show the other night. Watched a bit of that. So congrats to Joshua for getting his book picked up by Marcosia. It's definitely a company I'm aware of. So kudos, dude. And he does great work. I've been watching his progress for years now, and he's like in my circle of friends. So it's always great to see my buddies do well. But this is why I'm providing links to a lot of friends within my circle. Because I definitely believe in go out and support all your favorite independent creators. But I believe in creating circles where we're all sort of really getting to know each other over the years and supporting each other's works, and it's just a big love fest. This way we'll bring up the same names over and over throughout the years, and I hope it continues on and on and on. Because I've had circle of friends change. Like, I used to be very attached. Like I mentioned, Dave Ryan used to hang out all the time, and we worked on. I worked on a lot of various projects of his, and I had another friend, Joe Martino, and I've worked on a number of projects of his, with Shadow Flame and with Rip Man. Well, they they buddied up, and they're under Red Anvil, which was originally just Dave's label, and they've been putting out their own comics under that label for the past 20 years now, and they've added a bunch more of Joe's creations and more of their combined creations. They even have a team book now. But I sort of drifted away from talking to both of them over the years. In fact, more so because I left New York and I don't see them as much, and they really, once they buddied up, they pretty much talk to each other. And so I guess I kind of a little bit dropped out of their circle. Which is fine. I've in the past I had a podcast which was Independent Road, and I had both of them on, I believe separately and together, and I believe also I've had them on this channel, Studio Synergy, or maybe just under their own names. You can go check back over my videos and see if that's the case. I'm trying to, over time, organize my playlist a little better, and organize it a bit. I'm gonna do a playlist where it's strictly me talking with other creators. So regardless of what label it went under, if it's me and another guest, it will be in one playlist. And I thought that would be a great way to focus a playlist, and you can go check out all my old interviews with creators. But yeah, I've been off on tangents now. I forget where I was, but I definitely met more and more female comic readers and fans and writers and artists. Definitely probably like when I got into the industry and started going to conventions, there was a trickle, and now there's a flood. And depending on where you're looking, um, that there's more and more women creators and fans, and it's great to see. And at some point I want to do a project that would be solely of interest to women, because I feel like I don't have that much of a focus on, like I don't know what what women are interested in what I do, or why not enough women are interested in what I do. And maybe I can, follow my analytics, and I don't notice, because I don't see them popping up in my chat or leaving comments. And it's not like I'm running into a lot of women currently because of the pandemic. Not doing conventions. I've been out of loops doing conventions since I left New York. I've done a few, went to Louisville. I'm trying to remember. We had a sort of a creator after dinner. Me and Lisa went to at the Spaghetti Factory. I'm trying to remember if there's any women who showed up to that. It's been so long, but I don't particularly remember. There might have been one or two, but I know for sure. Like back when I was in New York, a very indie centric convention that happened was Mocha. And Mocha was freaking awesome. And you have these events to where you're inspired to do something creatively different, and Mocha is one of them. And I wanna in the future go to more conventions or gatherings like Mocha, because it was only very indie focused, and it was definitely a lot more women there, not only creators but fans, um, and that was freaking awesome. Most bizarre creations across the board, uh, but so awesome. Oh man, I'm almost finished with this panel. What the hell? And so, okay, so if you can see, there's a little kind of stuff, which I might do some of that with quill, but I might do some brush. There's some stuff I save for off camera. You know, it's a little more okay. I really got to focus. Can't f around, so I'll save that for later. But I think for the most part, I figured finish with most of the figure here, and there's too many tangents. Okay, so I'll save some of that pizzazz below for later. But yeah, freaking Mocha. I know there's a lot of outside of New York, there's small press conventions and whatnot. You know, one of my favorite artists and also creator, self-published a lot of her own work, is Alitha Martinez. And I went to her Facebook page, not too long ago, and it looks like she's doing really well. She's a freaking phenomenally talented artist, an old friend from the neighborhood who I really haven't kept in touch with for various reasons as much as I would have liked to. And, you know, this sort of a project that's dragging on in the background that is mostly my fault through the various reasons, that we'll see the light of day one day if we both have our way. Um, you know, it's like one of those projects I'm not getting paid for right now and can't afford to, number one, screw up because everything I've done on it so far has turned out really nice, and I really don't want to half-ass it, the rest of it. But you know, it might just be considered a one-shot by the time I get it done. But we will get that book out. But Aletha is freaking phenomenal artist. You know, back in the day when I was, you know, when my brother Jimmy and Joe Quesada formed Marvel Knights, and they got Kevin Smith to write the book. You know, Joe was doing artwork, and I was assisting Jimmy on Daredevil with the backgrounds, and you know, not everything, but good amount here and there. Aletha was helping Joe out penciling backgrounds, which is pretty funny. And in some ways, many ways, she's just as good as Joe. And eventually, if I reconnect with her, I'll definitely have her on. But yeah, when I start making enough money, I want to get a list of things off the back burner, and really, that's one major project. That would be so worth it to get out into the world. But yeah, she's freaking awesome. So they recently did a Brazilian Wonder Woman, and I'm not sure if she's part of the project, but she is definitely drawn either a piece or maybe it's a cover of the um of the character. So it's like a black Wonder Woman. And it's kind of funny to me. Uh, like Aletha, she's a pretty woman, but not a lot of people would consider her gorgeous. All people are gorgeous, but in a Hollywood beautiful kind of way. But I looked at her illustration of this Brazilian Wonder Woman, and I kind of was like, "That's her. She's just doing herself as Wonder Woman." I haven't seen like the. I've heard about it that they were doing it, but I haven't seen any artwork or character designs with the character. So I don't know if she did her variation artistic license kind of thing of the character, or if that's exactly what the character looks like. But I was like, that's Aletha, just she's just doing herself. What the hey? So it goes. Um, oh, I know the tangent I was on. Okay, so I have LinkedIn. Um, if you go below the video and check out my links. Not LinkedIn, Linktree. Too many links. My Linktree has a dozen links in it now, and a lot of those are friends projects, and a lot of those friends projects are definitely worth checking out. So while I may not be kickstarting or Indiegogoing, please go check out my friends projects. I recently added Aaron Guzman's and Jason Alexander's mini comic bundle, which once a month they produce a new mini comic, which you can subscribe to and get a mini comic a month. They've been doing it 2 months, and it's a growing thing, and they're really enjoying themselves with Jason drawing and Aaron doing the artwork. Aaron's a freaking really, really good artist. So go check that out. Be a part of that if you like mini comics or just getting a monthly dose of this creative effort between these two guys. Like I said, I love teams that stick to a project ongoing. So that's their creative endeavor. While I don't have an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter going myself, what the hey with Black Friday coming up, what do I have? Well, I have a Patreon page where you can go and support me with any amount, really. Like at least $1 a month, and that helps me pay some minor stuff off each month. I think I got, well, it's 9 at the moment. I have this one guy who like pays it late, so it looks like for the most part, you go there and it looks like I have 9, but then he pays and then the month is over, so it only registers 9. Um, but anyway, it's both a him thing and a Patreon thing, timing and all that. But anyway, yeah, it's a decent amount. I would love to get that up to $100 a month that I have, like, coming in through there. It's 40 plus whatever it is. So it's not nothing. And if you add up all the time I've been on there, I've made a couple of thousand from that alone. And I appreciate each and everyone who has become a Patreon. I will be focusing. I actually meant to um, do an update today before I started this stream. But then I lay down and, to be totally honest, I fell asleep because my sleeping habits have been horrible lately. I've been getting like a couple hours here and there again. It's not good. It's not good. But yeah, my workload and just, man, just being who I am, going and burning both candles at one end, or one candle at two ends, however that goes. Um, it's all good in the neighborhood, as they say. Tempted to talk like Bill Murray from Caddyshack. I don't know. Um, but yeah, becoming a patron. I'm going to start thumbnailing out my idea for a comic called Worlds, and Worlds is something that's been living with me a while. It's about time I put it down on paper, and I want to sort of make it exclusively for my patrons. I may eventually make it publicly available to all, but at least like the creative process of it will be for my patrons, and maybe they'll get another bonus as well. Um, but it's like all those creators talk about. Well, this was inspired by a lot of the anime I read growing up, or well, anime movies or manga that I read growing up. Um, Manga wasn't always an influence. You got to understand, I come from a different time, and um, it was only through my friends I became more aware of different creations. I've learned of a number of things on my own, but it wasn't as readily available in America um, back in the late 60s, early 70s, 80s, well, 70s altogether, but 80s. It really hit, I believe, in the 90s. So by the 90s, I was full-fledged into a lot of things. Of course, like movie-wise, The Cure was the first big hit. But I was definitely a fan of it was a cartoon called Battle of the Planets in America, and now I'm forgetting the Japanese name. A lot of people would know, but anyway, that I freaking love that show. It was like bird people costumes and crazy space drama, crazy lunatic villain, and it was kind of like a family. I freaking love that. And I had a friend in high school. She was a big fan. Um, and that was after I became a fan of it, so it was good to see somebody who was just as much of a fan. Um, and I think my brother Jimmy was into it too. I'm not sure like what channel it showed up, where we watched it, but I remember watching it. Like we watched any Saturday morning cartoon or like after school cartoons. It was either one of those. Battle of the Planets. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's probably around the He-Man era that whatever Kirby creations were turned into cartoon at the time, and yeah, so much good stuff back in the day. Um, but yeah, I mean, that uh, definitely like when I went to art school. I'm just a kid from the small town of Brooklyn. Um, it's tongue in cheek, okay. But it's like for the first time in my life, I was going to school not in Brooklyn. I had to take the train into Manhattan, and it was a little bit of a culture shock. Not necessarily shock. It was just like um, this is different than everything that was before it. Um, I prominently went to schools, grade schools, and from kindergarten all the way up to what is it, grade 11? No, grade 7, 8. Uh, High school is grade 9 to 12. Um, so that was prominently in what was for me like white schools. It was Italian, it was Irish, it was a lot of Jewish. I come from you know kind of a Jewish, Italian, Irish neighborhood back in Flatbush, Flatlands area. It's definitely radically changed since then. Um, but other than going to night school back in the day to make up a class, um, it was really first time where there was blacks in the school. There were more Spanish. There were Asian. I had a Russian friend. I had, all my. Uh, the reason why I personally love the X-Men and why I look at the X-Men as a book I relate to is because I felt like my group of friends evolved into like the X-Men over the time I was there. Is like I had, we had people from everybody was from a different area and different experience. Um, we had the Asian in the group, we had the Russian in the group, and I was the typical slim white guy. um, and we had males and females, and it was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, so to reiterate, uh, I want Patreon overall since the time I joined it was always about, well, I might do some stuff here specifically, and I have throughout the years, but for the most part, you're just supporting me because you want to support me. And I do that for other creators. I don't really expect anything from me tossing money to other creators. Um, just want to support them in all that they do because I know how tough it is, and so a lot of people throughout the years since I've been on there have done that. you know, and I mean that's happened naturally in real life. People have supported me throughout the years and kept a roof over my head when I didn't have as much work coming in, or the work coming in wasn't paying as well. And it's just a great way to go and support creators. So thank you, Patreon people, for setting it up, and yeah, I try to promote it when I can. So I'll be working on Worlds. Oh, so yeah, Worlds is inspired. I'm going back and forth and all over the place. Excuse me, but Worlds, it's definitely inspired by anime and manga. I I'm not as I feel like I'm not as passionate about that stuff as a lot of my friends are, because it's ridiculous how much manga they've read and anime they've watched. It's like, oh yeah, I love manga, and it's like I feel like I read, I watched like 3 shows, and they watched at least 100 or, or 1,000 shows, or read 1,000 manga books. And it's like, okay, not I'm not as much of a geek as you. Sorry, um, but definitely, Worlds is inspired by a lot of that. It's inspired by Tank Girl. If you read comics before the year 2000, and know who Tank Girl is, that character has been an inspiration for so many people. And talking about women who read comics, I know a lot of women who are in love with Tank Girl, and how can you not be? It's just a fun, over the top character in a fun, over the top world. It's usually been associated with great writing and fun artwork. She's also sexy, so it's also so for guys. I mean, she's got freaking rockets as tits, and yeah. Um, I mean, I love sexy comics too, so that works. Sex sells, as they say, and you get straight women reading a comic. You get lesbian women or bi women reading a comic. It works for all. Um, and I've definitely known a lot of bi women who read comics. And that's awesome too. Um, but yeah, it's inspired by Tank Girl. And as I throw in for everything, like retro in many ways, and you'll either see it as I create or not, but my head is going certain places that originated from these sources. Um, but heavy metal has been a big influence to me. It's kind of like what like um, I was inspired originally as an anchor with Bernie Wrightson, but you might not see Bernie Wrightson within my work, and that's okay and fine. But my head is always going to his work as I do many things, and so whether you see it in the end doesn't matter to me or whatever. Um, I would say my second biggest influence was P. Craig Russell, and I think more people see his lines within my lines, as they say. And I definitely, I've only met and seen Craig Russell once, and it was one of the few times where, like, I met somebody who my brother hasn't, which, I almost had a heart attack because of that. It's like, I actually met somebody who you don't know. I mean, he knew him. We read a lot of his work together growing up, but he just never met him. And I was lucky enough to meet him in person and talk to him for a little bit, and do the whole geek thing, and, oh, what a fan I am of your work, and you inspired my work. And he was gracious and kind, and it was awesome to meet him. He was a great, great, great guy. And he's done a lot of like storytelling tutorials and lessons that he's kickstarted, I believe. I know him from, uh, is it Kill Raven? Yeah, Kill Raven. My friend with the character Kill Raver, different. Kill Raven for Marvel back in the 70s. Excellent, excellent, fun book. Art was phenomenal on that, which was different from, like, the different projects he's worked on. Had sort of different styles and approaches. Um, but a lot of people know him from DC's um, Sandman, and very different style on Sandman. But excellent guy, excellent work. Go check it out. Um, but yeah, it's to get back to um, what my project worlds will be. It will be an adult comic. There will be nudity, and because I'm a guy, there will be female nudity. Um, and I'm not one to make anything even in this world, so I don't know if there'll be male nudity down the line. I don't believe in every creation should be everything to everybody. um, that's a little too, I don't know, feeding into society. I don't know, something about that always bothered me. But um, yeah, really, really excited about diving into that. I'll be doing some thumbnails and posting that. And that would be like for my $5 patrons. You know, I want to make it a little more exclusive than just anybody who jumps on as a Patreon. Um, but because I will forever, for however long I have Patreon, I'll be able to dissect who's pledged at that level, and we'll be able to throw out some rewards sometime down the line, um, in regards to people who pledged at a certain level for the creation of worlds. And that'll be fun when I get there. Um, but yeah, like I mentioned earlier, there's something going down today that will possibly change my career as I needed to in good ways. And as soon as I start talking about it, you'll know what I mean. I've been busting my ass for too many years and not really, almost never getting the rate I deserve. Let's face it. Um, Comics aren't the highest paying give back passion. um, but there's definitely people out there making good money doing what I do. And now it's, I'm pushing myself towards being, part of the reason I'm working on my own creations is I believe that's what I need to do. Well, that's what I want to do, but it's also makes sense logically. Like, I knew before I knew that that's what I needed to do. It's only taken me all this time. Part of it was like, I'm not good enough, or, I've just been an anchor all this time and I don't have those other skill sets. And, it's just downplaying what really I do believe is my natural skill set. I do believe I'll be a great writer. I do believe I'll be a great penciler. I do believe I have an eye for what makes great comics. And and some of it won't be super awesome off the top. And I mean, obviously, I haven't delivered fast. I don't consider myself fast, but I will for sure improve on that with issue 2 and 3 and so on. I mean, if I have my way, there will be no ridiculous delay like there has been with issue 1. You know, issue 2 will be delivered when I say it's going to be delivered. Issue 3, and so on and so on and so on. I'm not going to pull an image where every book is delayed. There's a learning curve, and I believe all the work that's going into issue 1 is that curve. I'm just not going to schedule something until I know it's going to come out at the time I say it's going to come out. And, I feel like apologizing every time I bring that up. It's like I never intended for this book to be so off track with when I thought it would be ready. But, I will get this into people's hands, and it will be of quality, and it will lay the groundwork to all that comes next. Thank God. Oh man, I can't wait to get this book into people's hands. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait to hear people's feedback, and hopefully a lot of smiles and other people, saying like, hey, recommending it to other people, seeing the first reviews come in. It's all going to be a blast. I can't freaking wait. If you're wondering, I still don't have a definite idea of when. I was hoping, like I'd be done with everything in December, and that's not going to be the case. It looks like the inks are going to be done in December, which makes me question what I'm doing here on my channel after that happens. I've said artwork on a different project, but I don't want to work on something that will be distracting to getting important work done. I don't know. We'll see. Still yet to get close to that. So, but as you can see, like this page has progressed. It's getting there. So, like I said, become a patron if you really want to support all that I do. I mean, can you imagine, like, if I got enough patrons to where I was making, like, say, $3,000 a month, would definitely put me in a great sphere, and I would be able to knock everything out and just make everything quality work. Yeah, so that would be my dream. if I had a dream at the moment, it would be to pull in $3,000 a month on my Patreon page. So if you really want to support me, not only become a patron, but share out my patrons. Tell people what a great guy you think I am, or what great work you think I do. Um, like I shared earlier in this video, a lot of people's comments regarding myself, that I'm, you know, what, what what their sort of opinions are of me, which was chancy, but it came out nice. If you haven't caught that, you're just catching the end, then please go check out the early part of the video for that. And yeah, share out my channel. I appreciate your subscribing and to my channel, and you're watching my videos, but I need more people to share out my channel. In the end, that's the only thing that's going to get me to the next level. My reach is only so far. It doesn't matter if I'm sharing out my channel and my work every half hour. It's not until other people start doing that. Think of any band. Think of any popular movie. It's all word of mouth. It's not the power of the studios or the power of the record companies. Although they are very strong, it's the power of the people. So please share out my channel and get the word out that I'm doing something decent over here in my neck of the woods in Human Art Studios. I hope that one day I have like a West Coast, East Coast version of Human Art Studios, an actual headquarters, and a place where there's not only people working on my books, but I'm also, helping the next generation to fulfill their dreams and work on their own creations, and have actual, studio environment where I'm working side by side with other people. That's one of the aspects to what one of the things I want to do. I love working alone because I've done it majority of my career. But I've also worked in studio environments, so I would like the option of like rolling off my bed and going to my own studio, being in my own head, or listening to stuff on YouTube or the radio or whatever. But also, traveling to a location and meeting up with the regulars and seeing what they're up to and helping them out. And there's a far, far, far bigger picture to what fill my dreams. And I hope that you see that in me and see that in my work, and assist in me getting there. What was it? I forget the tag that people use. Well, like I use Has Nation. So if you're a fan of what I do, then you're part of the Has Nation. But like if you're, I don't know, if you're a fan of Firefly, then you're a Brownie. I mean, people have different nicknames. Now we have somebody in the chat show up. Salazar. Girls Read Comics. Yes, it's been happening. It's been told. It's true. They should also make comics too. The fantastic Anna Robb has an 8-page story in the 9-volt pulp. Yep, and she's super talented. She's even more talented than both of us combined, dude. Hate to say it, but it's true. A lot of them female creators, they don't have the audience. They don't have wide audience, but they're freaking ultra super talented. Uh, um, but yeah, I was just rounding out my and plugging your own thing. Uh, yeah, Frank says yes, she is, and she knows it. Uh, yeah, I mean, she doesn't show it. Uh, I've seen people tout their own work, like yourself and many others. But she doesn't present quality work, and you know, she's very good natured and very you know giving of herself. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to try to do these daily. Don't quote me on that. I want to get back into the daily streams. That's why I paid the StreamYard bill. So I'll get out of the fancy aspects. In fact, let me do one of these jazzios. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. Each and every one helps build me towards that point. Definitely less than whatchamacallit, 170 at this point. So just under. So make it happen. Oh my God, dude, great to see you here. I'm just ending my show today, but man, we gotta catch up at some point. Oh, Battle of the Planets equal G-Force. Gotcha, man. Man, that's it. That's it. You were hanging out. You were quiet in the background. Yeah, I freaking love that show. I read the manga, but the cartoon I freaking loved. Um, so thanks for throwing that out there. And thanks for showing up. Hi, Robert. I haven't seen enough of you lately. You got to post more. Yeah, but thank you, everybody. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these daily if I can. I want to try to do them earlier in the day than later in the evening. If I do that, then I feel like I've achieved something early on in my day, makes the rest of my day a lot more productive. Even though I love my evening crowd, so I'm kind of torn, but there's not as much as an early crowd sometimes. I feel like I'm the only early riser in my universe a lot of times. But yeah, give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Become a patron. Support my channel and my work. Eventually, I'll get this book, Retro Issue 1, done and make it available. I'm gonna do a long ass Indiegogo after my Kickstarter pledges get it in their hands. So down the line, I'll be asking everybody to let people know about that. But that's not until next year. A little ways in. I want to first get this done into those Kickstarter pledgers' hands. It's going to be awesome. So thank you all for coming by. Thank you guys for